welcome back to Kirby's Dreamland 2. In the last part, we talked about some of my most problematic things with this game. Specifically, the rainbow drops. We already got the rainbow drop for this world, so it's just going to be clearing levels from here on out. And, one thing you may have noticed that I haven't touched upon yet is the Animal Buddy music. In Kirby's Dreamland 2, there is music for getting animal buddies and such, and they will play as long as you have that animal buddy, as long as you have Kirby with that animal buddy. And the reason for, and the one thing I can think about is this might annoy players because if you want to get the best ending, you're going to hear this theme more often than even the actual stages. And some of the ways you have to get these, rainbow drops feels Herculean and such. Because it means, like, you have to do certain things, or have to basically get something from a previous level to get, to acquire something in a current level. And I may have gone over that rant about that, but it's something that just is not going to stop anytime soon. Like, I've yet to get to Kirby's Dreamland 3, I want to play more of that and such. Like, I hear that Dreamland 3 is pretty easy, but, I'm not entirely sure given the trouble I went through practicing this game. And I think those, cloudy blocks actually go down much faster. And I do think that there's actually a difference with kind with stone. Because if anything, I think it has a bit more range. Like, someone needs to confirm that. Like, does stone with kind have more of a blast radius, for the lack of a better term, compared to using stone with other Kirby, animal buddies? Apologize if this takes a bit to do, so give me a second. There we go. That's a lot of silence I have to cut out. The reason why I use the rewind features is to basically make my life easier, and I'm trying not to overuse them in this Let's Play and such, but I'm only using them for select things such as that. Yeah. Oof. I have to get past this Mumby because... Or I can just do that. I can just use my extra range. I think this thing has extra range. I guess that's what makes Stone Coup more unique than Stone Kine. I feel so weird calling that animal buddy that Kine. It just doesn't feel like a proper... It doesn't feel like a name. You know what I mean? And of course, we have to deal with Captain Stitch again. And unfortunately, we lost our one moment to... attacking and such. And you wanna know what's my biggest issue with every Kirby boss? They want you to fight these things with no ability, because if you should use any abilities on it, most of the time, the abilities just do 1 point of damage instead of like a ton of points of damage. Oh, you can get Kine here too. I guess it's random chance? Right, we're in 6-4, it's not always gonna be Rick. And I still have to get that 1 in 8 chance to show off a special character. I'm gonna stick with, Ku, simply because this section sucks. And you better hope that by the time you decide to get your ability back, or get yourself a new ability. Ku, thank you. I mean, I guess it can work upwards too. No joke, I am a bit... I was getting scared there. Oh yeah, I want that. I want that. This is probably who you want for this section, because Ku can go against the currents. And, like, I'm actually able to go down. In fact, it's going to be your one way of being able to get copy abilities for this area. Don't take Rick or Kind to this area, because you won't be able to go down. You just need to go straight up. And, again, the auto-scrollers in this game are just not very good. So give me a moment while I try to get this one. Perfect. I swear these are very hard to time. Like, very, very hard. And, I only, like, it's just like, it just results in me having to take a bit of time to actually get past it. And the one thing I have to do to get past these things safely is to basically stone at the right time. I think this might be just the power build for this particular level. It's getting me past the Gordos at breakneck pace. I think, like sure, with Rick, you have a speed advantage and an active hitbox, but with Ku, dang, does like you're doing more than just rolling. You have some range, and it's only till now I just realized that. Like, I want to know, does Kind have that extra range, or is Kind considered worse than almost every aspect except for Spark Missile? Because I completely forgot about this level. No joke. I completely forgot about this area where you have to deal with these cloudy things just being the one thing you have to get across. If you want to carry an animal buddy, well, how fitting that if you're going to go to the Cloudy Park, you might as well bring an aviary buddy, in this case being Ku. I mean, I think Rick's design is adorable. It's a hamster. And on top of that, and on top of being a hamster, I think he has like an Australian accent in Kirby Right Back At Ya. As for Ku in Right Back At Ya, I have not seen any clips with him. I have not watched the series in full, if at all. I've only seen a handful of clips and know that King Dedede is probably that the voice actor for King Dedede is probably the best thing about it. I mean, that theme song, sure, it's dumb, but it's a good kind of dumb. It's gonna be one heck of a day if I should end up talking about that show. Everything for retrospective, I guess. Nope, I guess that's a bottomless pit. And, oh gosh! Oh, I forgot this was here. Oh boy. That was cool. That was honestly really cool. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna check out the other doors. Yeah, let's not. Let's not. Nope. Nope. This one just gives you a bunch of stars. Good way of refilling lives. Now let's see what this one has. Man, I didn't know how potent this particular combination is until now. Now you guys know why I love Stone in Kirby. It's my favorite ability, better than Hammer. I mean, Hammer is good. It's got a lot of power, but I play defensively, especially with boss rushes. There we go. Another bunch of silence I have to cut out. Who knows? I might be able to complete the game tonight, but that depends on how long the levels take in World 7. In World 7, well, talk about a way to start. We have to fight Mr. Green. It's interesting what mini-bosses you fight in these games, because some of them just don't appear in the series again. And, ugh. That's the one thing I don't like about, that's the one thing I really don't like about Stone in this game. You do not have the modern properties of Stone, where you can just stay indefinitely invincible. But I'm gonna stick with Ku because quite literally, he's probably my favorite of the animal buddies in this game. It's just, you have better flight. Unfortunately, I'm getting a bit reckless and I might lose Ku soon. So, yeah. And unfortunately, because I got rid of Stone, and I could have gotten it back, and I decided to destroy the very power combo I could have had. In fact, one of the Kirby... In fact, there are certain abilities I don't think appear in this game, and I don't think we're gonna get an equivalent to Hammer. I think the closest we're gonna have is definitely Ku with Stone. Well, so much for having the ability anyway. Now, unfortunately, Nintendo Switch Online service does not have Super Game Boy palettes. Now, if they gave us, like, Ku, this would have been a more favorable... this would have been a more favorable area. In fact, I just lost Ku right then and there. Because Kirby can inhale enemies underwater, we basically have to not run into them, but hit them with this, just the little bubbles. In fact, I think this is their weakest incarnation yet, because they have such a limited range. They clearly don't want you to rely on it. Thank you, phone. And... this would have been nice to have Ku in. Oh well. Not much to this level. So, yeah, we're going to be facing the boss soon. There we go. Apologize if you hear some dish running in the background and such. Hopefully I can find some way to edit that out. But, yep, it's time to face a boss, and we have no ability to fight them with. And this is probably the most unique appearance of Kracko yet. There's not been a single Kracko, to my knowledge, to have ever had the ability to fight you while in the clouds. This particular form would later be known as Kracko Jr. And here's me forgetting how to fight it. And I'm just wondering when the heck is it going to throw projectiles back out. But yeah, the big issue with fighting with Kirby abilities is that they don't want you to use it against the bosses because, sure, it's easier to you have more access to attacks, but they make them so weak against bosses when they're so strong against anyone else. Like, it bothers me that much. We have to be careful with Kracko here. And this boss actually has, I want to say it has 2 health bars? Ugh. Yeah, I have to be absolutely careful here. I'm having a better time against this particular Kracko than I was with. I say as it launches its splash damage at me. No, it's not over yet. There's a second health bar to this thing. Now it's time for Kracko proper. This is the last time it takes an appearance with a small cloud, because in the next game in the series, it will take that much bigger cloud that many people would know Kracko for. And boy, Kracko is known for its more strength cloud, more like thundering appearances, and me getting hit. If this takes a bit, I will just cut to just the second phase. Now we're back at the second phase, only taking 2 hits that time. And, well, Kracko has some of its more notable abilities, zapping the ground, swooping around a lot, and definitely sparking certain areas of the screen. I was really close. Okay, I actually got hit that time. I really need to not really say things and just actually take my just take those what's the term for it? And oof. Oh wait, come back. Ugh. No, I missed. My biggest issue with doing no ability on these bosses is having to wait for the boss to actually spawn those projectiles. Because it's always a lot of waiting for the boss to spawn the projectile, and then hoping to hit with that projectile, and then if you miss, you have to wait for the boss to to spawn another projectile, and here I am getting hit by something because I don't really fight these things a lot. And there we go, with 1 HP to spare. Thank goodness that didn't take so long. Maybe I don't have to show the arena in the extra run and such. Whew. So now we're up to the final area in the game, and we might have to split this area up into 2 parts. This is Dark Castle. And it may be a certain foe's castle at that. I'll try to do 1 level at least, because we got a whole lot of levels for this particular stage, because it is the final world. And if you were playing the Super Game Boy version, you will know this world for its brilliant shade of purple. The reason, I did contemplate just using BGB to play this, because, quite personally, I'm not exactly a fan of the Game Boy Color palette. The Nintendo Switch Online service does not have an option for Super Game... Oh, it's this part. Does not exactly have options for Super Game Boy. And because of that, well, this is the best option I had. And I did put it up to vote. Most people have vote, most people, and by most I mean just 3 of you. I don't really have that much of a following anyway. So I just, basically, you voted for the Game Boy Color palette. If the Super Game Boy palette was an option with this game, I would have happily, with this particular software, I would have happily used it. I wish it had that option because the game was clear, because it's clear they had support with it, and it looks much better with it. And there we go. So, yeah. It was either that or Game Boy Pocket. The reason why I suggested Game Boy Pocket and not the original is because do you really want to see this game in dot matrix green? It's not exactly the prettiest green out there. It's only for nostalgic purposes. And quite personally, they really should have included Super Game Boy as a compatibility option because there were actual cool things about it. So unless you are fine with emulating the Game Boy is very easy to do. It doesn't take that much time to set up. Not going to tell you how, for obvious reasons. Just go and find it yourself. But yeah, we're approaching the end game, so if you want to follow this series and others like it, it's just a subscribe and a bell, but you do not have to if you don't want to. You can donate if you want to. There are a couple links in the description. Any amount helps. The thought is appreciated. And with that said, I hope you're taking good care of yourself, and I shall now bid you adieu.